Hello friends, I am Mr. Kabe from Kabe City Center, and today we'll be running HTML language from basic to advanced concepting. The language that will let you become a pro web developer.
And it goes a little
Yes.
something like
All summer and after fall, I'll keep you warm. All summer and after fall, I'll keep you warm. All summer and after fall, I'll keep you warm. All summer and after
HTML tutorial 1.
you warm. All summer and fall, I'll keep you all summer and
Kabe City Center, the home of technology. Lesson objectives. In this lesson, or by the end of this tutorial, you will be able to define HTML, what actual HTML is. We will be able to write an HTML web content or web page. You will be able to know the general structure of an HTML web page. How do we structure HTML for the browser can display it correctly? You will be able to learn the basic of HTML elements and tags. What are the HTML elements? What are the HTML tags? What are the difference between HTML elements and tags? So let's get started by the introduction or introducing an HTML language. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is the standard markup language for creating web page. So whether you are writing a web content, you should be learning HTML for you to grasp the concept of how the web page are written. When writing an Office document, we always use Microsoft Office as the suitable software for writing Office document. When you use spreadsheet or when we use, they say we want to write some mathematics calculations, we use Microsoft Excel or spreadsheet program. When we write a presentation, let's say we want to present to our conference or our fair classmate, we use Microsoft PowerPoint. Similarly, when we want to write a web page, we use some editors along with the language that we should be equipped with, which is HTML. So if you want to write a web page, you should learn HTML along with other language or web development language such as Cascading Style Sheet or CSS and JavaScript. You should also know the library of those language, and we will be learning on the subsequent session or tutorial. So the HTML display your content on web browser. It describes the standard markup of creating. HTML describes the structure of web page. It tells the browser how to display the page content using its element. On this tutorial, you will be learning what are the HTML elements and how do we use them to create HTML tags and to display the content on web browser. HTML consists of a series of elements and tags. We have bunch of tags and elements to use from when it comes along to HTML language. And HTML elements are represented by HTML tags. What are the tags and what are the elements we'll get to know on the subsequent slide. An HTML file is saved with an extension of .html or .html. As I've said, when you are writing an Office document using Microsoft Word, you should save your content as either .doc or .docs, depending on the version of Office package you are using. So similarly, when you're writing a web page or an HTML file, you should save your file with .html or .html. This HTML or HTML, it doesn't care whether the browser doesn't care whether it is HTML or HTML. Both are similar. However, you can see they have a slight difference. The first one doesn't have error at the end, while the later it has error at the end. Those all are HTML extensions. Whether you write this one or this one, automatically the browser will detect this is an HTML file and will display your content following the syntax of your element and tags. What are the HTML elements and HTML tags? An HTML element or HTML elements are used to render HTML content with respect to a specific HTML tag. Now, one can get confused what actually an HTML element and an HTML tag is. How does an HTML element differ from an HTML tag? Don't worry, you know all this concept and terminologies in this tutorial. HTML tags are element names surrounded by an angle bracket or angle brackets. So an element name once placed inside an angle bracket or angle brackets, a less than bracket and a greater than bracket, that is no longer an element, rather it is a tag. So we use an element inside angle brackets to call it a tag. So you can see the difference. An element, however, there are some people that confuse those terminology. You can find that this element is called a tag and this tag is called element. They're used interchangeably, however it differs with the slight difference. For example, using a lowercase p or an uppercase p is an HTML element for paragraph. HTML doesn't care whether you are using a lowercase syntax or an uppercase syntax. It will display your content with respect to such an element. But we need a tag to display its content. So this is an element. Now how does it change to become a tag? When or once p is placed inside an angle bracket like this one, it is a tag. So here you can see a paired tag, lowercase paired tag and uppercase paired tag. So this is an open tag, your content here, and this is an end tag or closing tag. Or this is an open tag and this is a closing. Whenever the case, if whether you wish to use the lowercase syntax or the uppercase syntax, HTML doesn't care. It will just display your content as it is. So this is a tag for paragraph, and this is an element for paragraph. But you can find other people calling this is an element or this is a tag, whatever the case. As long as you know how to use the syntax, it doesn't bother. Let's go on. Generally, elements and tags are written in the form of tag name, your content, and then you write the similar tag name, but before that similar tag name you put a forward slash to mark that this is an ending tag or a closing tag. If you put this one without this one, it will display your content, but you should be careful as it may display your content and it may alter the whole content or the page content, and it may add the content, but it wasn't your intention. For instance, let's say you want to bold your text. As we all know that bolding, we use a B. We use a B, whether here we put B and here we put B, then a bold content should be pressed in between here. Now if you forget to put the last closing tag of bold, the whole content will be bolded, but it wasn't actually your intention to bold the whole content. Maybe it was you were intending to bold just a section or a single word, but unfortunately you forgot to put the last B. You will find that the whole content of a page will be bolded. So it's better for you to keep track on how to close your HTML tags. HTML has a lot of elements and tags to use. We have division or div tag. We have emphasize. We use I or EM. We have bold. We use B or strong, etc. So HTML has got bunch of elements and tags to use from, and we'll be learning those elements and tags on the subsequent video tutorials. So keep on track and keep subscribing to my channel so that you will be learning a lot of HTML syntax from basic, intermediate through advanced concept for you in order to becoming a pro web developer like others. Now that we have seen how an HTML page should be written using those elements and tags, it's time now to learn the structure of an HTML page. Below is a figure showing how a simple HTML page should look like. So when writing HTML page, you should follow this syntax. Now, an HTML page has got two main sections. The first one, it is the heading section, and the second one, it is the body section. All these two sections, both the heading section and the body section, are enclosed inside the HTML open and the HTML close tag. So this is the root. This HTML is the root element. You should keep track on this. Now, how does the header section or head section differs from the body sections? You can see that the head section contains invisible content. So whenever you're writing your web page, you should know that everything you put inside the heading section here, it won't be displayed on your web page. However, I don't mean that everything would want to be displayed. You can find that the HTML tag element with this title tag element will display the title of the page. So again, it won't be inside the body of the content. It will be on the browser address bar. So this will display on the browser address bar, not on the actual body content. So other CSS and JavaScript implementation should be placed in between this open head tag and closed head tag. Again, we have body section. All the visible content of your web content should be placed inside this body section. As you can see here, we have heading and we have heading 1. So note, we have heading 1 to heading 6. Depending on the usage and the preference of you can whether choose from heading 1, heading 2 through heading 6, depending on your preference. Also, we have a paragraph tag or paragraph section here. This is a paragraph, and all other visible content such as span, emphasize, bold, strong, or division, etc., image, table, and others will be placed in between here. However, you should note that the body section, as I said, it contains CSS, JavaScript, and other metadata or meta information of your web page. It doesn't limit you to write whether in this section or in this section, in the head section or the body section, the JavaScript implementation. You can find others writing JavaScript implementation in head section or in body section, or even at the end of this HTML rusty or closing tag, depending on the preference usage of your syntax. Now, on the previous slide, you have learned how the HTML page should be structured, but you should note that the HTML or an HTML document should be specified for a browser can understand where this is an HTML document. Now, we said that before an open HTML root tag, you should place another syntax or another element that specify your document type, and this should be written in this way: less than exclamation mark doc type HTML greater than. And you will find that this HTML in other page you may find whether it is an uppercase, meaning it is an HTML syntax, or it is a lowercase HTML, meaning it is an HTML5 syntax, the latest version of HTML. Whenever the case, whether you write or you put the uppercase HTML or lowercase HTML, HTML actually doesn't care whether it is a lowercase or uppercase. It will display your content type as an HTML. So this is this defines the document as an HTML, so the browser can display your content correctly. Also, the next thing, now that you have written that specification or document type, the next thing is for you to write an HTML root element. This is the container, a container which carries header or heading section and body section. Next, after writing that HTML open tag, you write head section for you to define your meta information of your web content. Next, you write the body or title section, the title to specify the title of your page content, and next you write the body element that will carry all your implementation, other body sections such as paragraph, heading, etc., according to the nature of your website or your web page. And now we have seen that we have written body. So inside the body section you can put whether heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, 6, paragraph, or division, etc. But remember, don't forget to close those dot tags or elements. But you can find that there are other single elements or empty element. An empty element like this one is an element that doesn't have any content. It differs from this single element, though both this BR and IMG are single element. However, they have got another difference. This is not empty, and IMG is not an empty element, because it is an element for you to specify an image. So an image should have a source. So this is is not an empty. However, this is an empty for the meaning that it is a line break. So if you want to put an image in your content, you should use whether IMG with a / or IMG without a /. You start with less than IMG / less greater than, or less than IMG greater than. So this IMG with a / is the base key HTML syntax for you to place an image, while this one is an HTML5 syntax for you to place an image. Also, there is another syntax called less than image greater than image. Also, it is used in HTML5. Now that you have written your content and you want to place a line break somewhere else, you should use this one, less than BR / greater than, or less than BR / or greater than, sorry. So whether with a / or without / HTML will regard your content or your content area where you press this one as a line break. So that was HTML page structure. Now, when it comes to HTML language, it has got some major development changes, and those changes we call versions. So here is a tab explaining or describing how HTML was changed from 1991 to 2014. You can find that in 1991, developers released a standard HTML. or HTML naive as others call it, but they found that it has got some bugs to fix, and in 1995 they released another HTML 2.0 uh, language. In 1997 they released the HTML 3.2, etc., up to the current version 1914. HTML5 was released, and this is a current HTML version used in gaming and other complex software. They use HTML and JavaScript. So learn HTML for you to become a developer. Writing HTML has been easy. You can either use simple and lightweight text editor like Notepad or WordPad, or you can use some strategy or advanced text editor such as Notepad++, Sublime Texter, Visual Studio Code, Atom or Code, etc. However, it's your wish. It's your preference. You can either choose an integrated development environment, an IDE such as Eclipse or Apache, whatever the case, Sublime, Apache NetBeans. But remember, there is no need for you to jump into those advanced integrated development environments for this moment. Those IDEs are used for very complex programming languages such as C++, Java, Python, Ruby, C#. This HTML doesn't need for you to jump on those complex IDEs. You can just download simple text editors such as Sublime Text Editor or Sublime 3 for you to start from. And when it comes to browser, you have a bunch of options for you to choose from. You can choose whether Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome, Simply Chrome. You can use Microsoft Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. Nowadays, Microsoft Edge have released a new version of Microsoft Edge. It is pretty easy to use and a pretty simple interface, and it's very good, looking stunning. So you can choose from whether Microsoft Edge or Mozilla Firefox. My option, I use Mozilla Firefox as my default web browser and Sublime Texter as my default text editor for me in development journey. So for you, you can choose from. Download link is on the video description, so you can scroll to video description for you to download those software. Let's write a simple web page so that you can grasp some concept that we have learned on the presentation tutorial. Now here on the desktop here, I have created an HTML folder. If you open this folder, it is empty. So it's time to write some file or some HTML file. Now I will open my default or favorite text editor, which is Sublime Text Editor or Sublime 3. This here, it is the first interface. When you open Sublime for the first time, it will look like this. Now this it is a new file, so click on the file menu to save your content and save as. Though it is a black content, you should save. Now save as. So when saving HTML file, you should note something. For the first time, if you are writing a development, or you are writing a web page for development or web page for or for publishing, whether you want to start blogging or you want to develop a software for a specific USSD company, it is better to note for an index file. An index file, it is a file that would be auto detected by your browser. So whether you have other files such as about contact or download etc. Browser won't detect those files. It will detect an index file. So for the first time I'll write index.html, then click save. Now that we have written our first HTML file, which is an index.html, now let's begin by specifying some syntax. And this is why I use this Sublime Text as my favorite text editor, because it has got syntax highlighting and syntax compression. It for now, for me, I don't have there's no need for writing or specifying document type. It will auto detect it and specify itself once I write less than HTML, as long as I have saved my file as .html file. So it once I write less than HTML, it will detect this is an HTML file, then click this one. It will include all HTML dependencies according to the structure of the HTML web page. So you can find that we have a less than exclamation mark document type HTML, we have HTML as a root element, we have header, we have body, and we have title in between the heading section. So let's begin by writing this title. They say write HTML or tutorial 1. Then in board section here, let's press an indent by pressing tab once, then less than or heading 1. As I've said, we have heading 1 to heading 6. You can find here they have heading 1, heading 2, heading through heading 6, and this HR is on a horizontal line. You will run on the next subsequent tutorials. Now for this time I will be writing heading 1. Once I click this one here, it will press the automatically, it will press the closing tag. So you can find this beginning tag and this an ending tag, or open tag and closing tag. And in between the opening tag and closing tag here, we write some text. They say this is my heading 1, or simply this is heading 1. Heading 1. You can press also, may say we want to write heading 2. You can write this one or this one. This is a subheading, or bracket heading 2, then close. So this is a heading 1 and heading 2. Now it's time to press a paragraph into our board content P, then select this one. Now automatic, your Sublime Text Editor will identify or will detect this is a paragraph, and it will tell you it is just a tag, so it is a paragraph tag. Now press that one, then that this is a paragraph. Next here you can add another paragraph. Okay, select this one. Hello, I have added another paragraph. You can add several paragraphs. You can add several paragraphs. Oh, I am now an HTML web developer or web beginner. So Control S for saving. You can Control S for saving, or click on File menu, then save. There's no need again to specify save as, because we have saved our file as .html. So click save, and now open your folder, HTML folder. You will find an index file. Double click this and it will automatically display on web page or web browser, sorry. So this second here, it is HTML tutorial 1 as your HTML title, as we have written here, HTML tutorial 1. It will display your content and the address here. This is a heading 1, this is a subheading or heading 2, this is a paragraph, hello, and next. So lastly, you will find I am now an HTML web beginner. So that's how we write a simple web page using HTML language. It's just simple, but however there's other complicated syntax that we'll be learning. They are not complicated too much. You'll be getting across with them, and you'll be grasping those concepts. For this time, it is time to end up here so that we get a break, and we'll be learning other advanced concept on the subsequent video tutorials. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share, comment my channel so that you won't miss a new video updates once I upload new video tutorials. Thank you for watching.